It simply goes, "That's not cool." I don't know how to follow up that, so I'm not going to rip my shirt off. I don't think anyone would want me to anyway. I've actually, the two pieces I've got tonight, and I might follow it up with the third one, aren't actually poems. This first one was inspired by a conversation I had today. I was reminded of one of my favorite authors ever, not only in terms of his authorship, but in terms of his life experience. And it's been a long time since being here in Utah I've heard anyone mention Kurt Vonnegut's name. Not only am I a fan of his writing, but as a veteran of World War II, absolutely inspired by this man. This was a letter that Kurt Vonnegut wrote in May of 1945, ironically to himself. This was just after he was liberated from a German prisoner of war camp. Kurt Vonnegut states, "Dear people, I'm told that you were probably never informed that I was anything other than, quote, missing in action. Chances are that those also failed to receive any of my letters I wrote from Germany. That leaves a lot of explaining to do, in pieces. I've been a prisoner of war since December 19th, 1944, when our division was torn to ribbons by Hitler's last desperate thrust through Luxembourg and Belgium. Several fanatical panzer divisions hit us and cut us off from the rest of Hodge's First Army. We were obliged to stay and fight. Bayonets aren't much good against tanks. Our ammunition, food, and medical supplies gave out, and our casualties outnumbers those who can still fight. So we gave up. The 106 got a presidential citation and some British decoration from Montgomery for it. I'm told, well, I'll be damned if it was worth it. I was one of the few who were wounded. For that much, I thank God. Well, the Supermen marched us without food, water, or sleep to Limburg, a distance of about 60 miles. I think where we were, loaded up and looked up, 60 men to each small, unventilated, unheated boxcar. There were no sanitary accommodations. The floors were covered with fresh cow dung. There wasn't room for all of us to lie down. Half slept with the other half stood. We spent several days, including Christmas, on that Limburg siding. On Christmas Eve, the Royal Air Force bombed and strapped our unmarked train. They killed about 150 of us. We got a little bit of water on Christmas Day, and moved slowly across Germany to a prisoner of war camp in Nuremberg, south of Berlin. We were released from the boxcars on New Year's Day. The Germans herded us through scalding, deluging showers. Many men died from shock in the showers after 10 days of starvation, thirst, and exposure. But I didn't. Under the Geneva Convention, officers and non-commissioned officers are obliged to work when taken prisoner. I am, as you know, a private. 150 other such minor beings were shipped to Dresden work camp on January 10th. I was the leader by virtue of the little German I spoke. It was our misfortune to have sadistic and fanatical guards. We were refused medical attention. We were given long hours of extremely hard labor. Our food ration was 250 grams of black bread and 1 pint of unseasoned potato soup each day. After desperately trying to improve our situation for 2 months, and having been met with bland smiles, I was told by the guards that the Russians were coming. They beat me up a little bit. I was fired as group leader. Beatings were very small time. One boy starved to death, and the SS troops shot 2 others for stealing food. On about February 14th, the Americans came over, followed by the RAF. Their combined labors killed 250,000 people in only 24 hours, and destroyed all of Dresden, possibly the most beautiful city in the world. But not me. After that, we were put to work carrying corpses from airfield shelters. Women, children, old men, dead from concussions, fire, and suffocation. Civilians cursed us and threw rocks at us as we carried bodies to huge funeral pyres in the city. When General Patton took Leipzig, we were evacuated on foot. There we remained until the war ended. Our guards deserted us. On that happy day, the Russians were intent on mopping up isolated outlaw resistance in our sector. Their planes strafed and bombed us, accidentally killing 14. but not me. 8 of us stole a team in a wagon. We traveled and looted our way through the Sudetenland and Saxony for 8 days, living like kings. The Russians were crazy about us Americans. The Russians picked us up there in Dresden. We rode with them to the American lines at Calais and rode through 4 trucks. We've since then flown home. I'm writing from a Red Cross station now. I've been wonderfully well fed and entertained. The state-bound ships are jammed naturally, so I'll have to be patient. I know I'll be home soon. One day I'll be given 21 days and about $600 of back pay. It's too damn much to say. The rest will have to wait. I can't receive mail here, so please don't write, Kurt. Love, Kurt.